I am
Recording in progress.
I'm excited to start this class. It's always fun to start new. Now, I have a morning class that's from 10 to 11. If y'all ever need to come to that class, like something comes up, you can't come in the afternoon, or maybe you decide, I think I would rather come in the morning. You're welcome to come to that class. You're welcome to come to both classes. You're welcome to just come into class and watch and listen and just talk, with the other people in the class. I like for it to be easy. I like for it to be enjoyable. I like for this to be your class, what you need and what you want to get out of it. And so when we start a new class, we go back to the beginning. So the great thing about going back to the beginning is, for the very newest person, they're going to, of course, they need the beginning. And they're going to hear it one way. And then the person who's been in class before, they go back to the beginning and they think, I kind of forgot that. Or, there's things you don't hear the first time. Because I throw all kinds of information at y'all, and then you can only take in so much. And it takes a while to get it all. I go to training every 2 years. I get retrained or recertified. And I always feel like within those 2 years, I've created some kind of bad habit, or maybe I have forgotten something. And so even me as an instructor, a person who's been doing Tai Chi consistently since 2012, but the first time I learned it was 2006. So there's always something to learn, whether you're a very first day beginner or whether you're year 2 or whatever it is. There's a way to learn old information in a new way. And Tai Chi is just cool like that. It's very dynamic. So we do go, we start back all over, and then this class lasts 16 weeks. And then I'll start another set of these classes in August. So keep in mind that you can do this class seated or standing. I mostly do it standing. One time I hurt my foot. I was forced to do it seated. Last week it was just me and Miss Linda, and she was having some problems with a spot on the back of her knee, and that was causing her problems in standing. And so we did some seating. Mostly we just messed with the volume of my speaker, because we were having some issues with that. So you just never know what you're going to come to class and learn and talk about, and that's the beauty of it. So right now what I'm doing is opening and closing my hands, just warming up my body. Now, this morning when it was chilly outside, my body needed a little extra warming. But, here we were talking about how nice and warm it is, then my body doesn't need as much warming. But anytime you go into an exercise program, you want to make sure you're coming into it with warm muscles. It makes your body easier to move and work with. It feels better. And it's less likely that you'll have injury when you're working with warm muscles. So that's why we always start by opening and closing and just walking around and getting our bodies warmed up. I might need to take off my sweatshirt, but because I am warm. I was not warm. I have a shirt on under it, so don't think that I'm not going topless, y'all. I have 2 shirts on, and I really was getting warm. So I meant yesterday I wasn't going to be cold today, so I wore 2 shirts. Miss Annie, I didn't introduce myself, but my name is Jennifer Crosby. I work at the Area Agency on Aging in Baxley. And so I've been the wellness program coordinator here this will be my 24th year. It was my first job out of college, and I have kept this job ever since. And I've been teaching, like I said, I've been teaching Tai Chi since 2012. I've been teaching virtual Tai Chi since 2021, I think. I think that was when I took over Robin, who used to be the wellness coordinator for SOWEGA. She used to do online exercise classes, and she left to go work at a hospital, and I took over her classes in 21. So I've been doing this, y'all, for 5 years, because it's 26. Is that real?
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly! Wow! So I do 2 sets of classes. When I first started with Robin, I had 1 class. And then the next time so many people signed up, we made 2 classes. So we had a morning and an afternoon class. And then people kept taking the class. And they wanted more. See, Nora's on this class, but she's also on the Friday class. And that's my 3rd class. That's what I call the advanced class or the exploring class. And in that class, we're learning part 2 moves. Like, it's a whole different thing than what we do in this class. And so in those 5 years, I have went from 1 class to 3 virtual classes. And so we just enjoy it. We enjoy coming together. If you, I like for y'all to share things about y'all's lives. And I'm not shy about sharing about mine. A lot of times you get to hear about my children. I have a son, Patrick, who's 21. I have a daughter, Olivia, who is 17, and a husband who I've been married to 23 years named Blake. And so you'll get to hear about them, you know, what things that they do, because it's my job to just love them, support them, and be whatever they need. And it comes with stories sometimes, so I like to share with y'all. I like for us to get to know each other. So that was the kind of the mid-length introduction of myself, Miss Annie. But Miss Linda and Miss Nora have been in class before, and we want to welcome you into our group, and we know that you'll enjoy it. All right, so we're going to first get in a stable stance, and what that means is we put our feet about shoulder width or hip width apart. Because if we were to put our feet touching each other, then we kind of feel wobbly. We don't feel stable. If somebody were to come and bump into us, we're more likely to fall down. On the other side of that, if we spread our legs out this wide, it's kind of hard to move from here. If somebody comes and pushes into me, I'm probably going to fall over because I don't really have any stability in this stance. But if I try to move from here, I'm going to have to kick off on one of my feet. So yeah, I'm kind of bending into this leg and then kind of pushing off on the ground to be able to step. And so when we have our feet about shoulder width apart, that's very stable. I also have a slight bend in my knee. So I'm not locked my knees. I'm not standing straight up. When I have those soft bend in my knees, it allows energy to flow, but it also allows me to absorb impact. So if somebody comes and knocks into me, then I can bend into that leg and recover from that. And so we stand in our stable stance to get started with our moves. Now, the type of Tai Chi that we do is from Dr. Paul Lamb, and he is a medical doctor, but also a Tai Chi expert. So he took everything that he knows about Tai Chi and about medicine and created a program that helps people with different health issues. The one that we do, the specific set of moves that we do, helps people with falls prevention as well as issues or pain from arthritis. And we'll talk about how the moves that we do helps with those specific things. Now, Dr. Lamb also has programs that are specific to osteoporosis, diabetes, rehabilitation. There's a Tai Chi for kids. I mean, he has a big suite of Tai Chi programs, but this is the one that we do. Now, overall, this type of Tai Chi, yes, it will help with falls prevention, but it also helps reducing stress, anxiety, and depression. And now what I want to say about specific to stress is that there's a lot of things to be stressed about in this world and in our lives. And if we allow that stress to overwhelm us, then we're more likely to get sick. So we want to control the stress. And one way that we do it is with Tai Chi, we do breathing, we do diaphragmatic breathing, but we also move intentionally slow, smooth, and continuous. And when we choose to move slow, it's relaxing to our nervous system, and that can help us reduce stress. With the moves that we do, it helps strengthen our muscles. We do weight transfer where we shift weight to one leg and hold weight on one leg. And so that helps build the strength in our legs specifically, but of course movement will help build strength in other parts of us too. We improve our balance and coordination. And you think about strengthening the muscles that surround our joints. Think about our knees and our hips. Those are our weight-bearing joints. I mean, our ankles are a weight-bearing joint too, but our hips and knees seem to take the brunt of our weight. And if the muscles that surround these joints, whether it be our thigh, our shin, all these muscles that surround here, when those muscles are stronger, it helps keep the pressure off of the joint itself to where it's not collapsed and can cause pain. Helping reduce the stress can help reduce the inflammation. Sometimes pain from arthritis comes from that inflammation as well. So with movement, specifically our movement will increase flexibility, mobility, reduce tension and stiffness. And so those are just some of the benefits of Tai Chi. Now, I don't know everybody's story on their stamina. Like, can you go and take a walk for 30 minutes? Or is that going to wear you out? And so by exercising, you increase your stamina. And it's funny to me how I could be so tired and I could be like, oh, I just feel like laying down. I just don't feel like doing anything. And then I say, but I'm going to do something. For 5 minutes, I'm going to do something. And then that gets me going. And suddenly I feel like doing maybe 5 minutes more. So that's funny how exercise will do that to us. Is it gives us more energy to do, and that helps build our stamina. Our physical fitness, our hearts, our lungs, our muscles all benefit from doing exercise. I say this a lot about Tai Chi is that one of the best gifts that Tai Chi gives us is body awareness. The more I do Tai Chi, the more aware I am of how I hold my body. Did somebody sneeze? Bless you if you did. I will notice if I'm holding tension in my shoulders. I will notice if I have bad posture. I will notice if I'm sitting in a non-supportive way in a chair. And so when I notice those things, I fix them and then I'm better for it. And so I have better posture because I'm paying attention. And it all comes from body awareness. So I'll talk more about our program, but that just kind of gives you the gist of who wrote our program, why we wrote our program, and what benefits can you get from it. We start class by doing that walk-in warm-up where we open, close hands and bend our elbows and just generally get our bodies warmed up and ready to go. We get in our stable stance and we start with our neck. We go through our major joints. So to stretch our neck and warm up our neck, we have our hands to our side and we're going to bring our hands up, our palms down. So if you notice that my arms are out from my body, but they're not Frankenstein. I don't have my arms locked. They're soft, okay? So we bring those hands up. We turn our hands and pull them towards our chin and chest. We turn and push them away from our bodies and then follow those hands all the way down. So in that chin to chest movement, that's where you feel a stretch in the back of your neck. So bring those hands up, palms down, turn and pull them towards our chin and chest, turn and push them away from us, and then follow those hands all the way down, chin to chest, feeling that nice stretch in the back of our necks. So that's our first neck exercise. Hopefully you're not holding your breath. Just check in with yourself and make sure that you are breathing and you're not holding your breath. The neck exercise starts out that same way, and when we get here, we drop this hand down to our hip. And then we follow this hand as we look towards that shoulder. And then we come back to center and switch our hands. Follow this hand as we look towards that shoulder. Come back to center and switch hands. So we're not going as far as we can go. We're just going until we feel a slight stretch and then coming back to center. The more you practice this movement, the less stiff your neck will be. This movement right here is good for your daily living activity of driving, if you do drive, so that you can safely look over your shoulder to see if you can switch lanes, or to look behind you to make sure that you can back up from a parking space. So the exercise has daily living purpose as well, not just Tai Chi. Next comes our shoulders, and so our hands are to our side, and we're going to roll our shoulders forward. Small circles. We're thinking the size of a quarter. And then roll those shoulders back. Again, small circles. Think the size of a quarter. We're used to doing everything big, and we think that if it's bigger, it's better. So it's hard sometimes to move slow. Now let's do our shoulder circle. We bring our palms up, turn and push those hands down. We breathe as we come up, inhale and exhale as we come down. See, that's relaxing in itself, just to take time to slow down and to breathe. What that sound is. Do y'all hear that? Sound like a heartbeat? All right, Linda, I muted yours and it stopped. So I'm gonna have to call Clarice and tell them that something's going on with that. So if you need me, let me know and I'll unmute you. All right, so now we're gonna stretch our spine. So we had two. That was for our necks. Our neck. We have one neck. We have two exercises for our one neck. We bring that here just to review and follow those hands down. And then the one where we go side to side. So those are the two for our neck. We do these every time. Then we roll our shoulders forward and back. And then we have our big shoulder circle. Okay, so those are the first four exercises, two major joints. Next is for our spine. My Clarice is making noise. All right. We have our ball, and so our hands are facing each other. We're holding it away from our bodies, and our ball is not meant to confuse us or get the best of us. Our ball is meant to be a pause. So what we're going to do is push one hand down towards the ground, and the other comes up and pushes up in the air. And we're thinking about stretching our spine as we separate those hands. We come back to our ball. There's our pause, and then we switch. So we're stretching that spine. I like to exhale as I separate. Inhale as I come to my ball. This Clarice, I tell you what, it likes to make a lot of noise. So I want you to be thinking about your spine stretching as you separate those hands. Now, not everybody has the shoulder mobility to do this move right here. And if that's the case for you, then you can stay small. So stay at your ball, and I like to think about a stretchy string. And so I'm pulling that stretchy string and thinking about my spine stretching. And then switching, and then stretchy string to stretch that spine. And so that exercise can help stretch your spine and warm up your spine. And it's important to do that if you can't raise your hand above your head because of shoulder mobility. That's a common ailment for especially women. And I don't know if it's hormone related. I'm not sure. I've heard that it is, but I don't know. I'm not an expert of it. But in Tai Chi, we make modifications when needed. And so that right there is amazing how that small stretchy string can stretch your spine. That just amazes me. We set our mind to thinking about that spine, and we can stretch those muscles just with that small movement. Our next spinal exercise involves the ball, and we're going to go side to side. So the hand on top tells me the direction that we're going. So I'm going towards this side that my hand's on top, and I stop just above that knee. Now that's important to remember, because if I were to keep going, I can start twisting my spine and hurt myself. Or I can start pulling that knee and hurting that knee. So it's a simple spinal warm-up. It's not meant to be big. It's meant to stay small. So when we get to this side, we switch our hands, and then we come back across. So we're only going knee to knee. So I know, like I said, we're used to living in that world where when it's bigger, it's better. And we don't want to do that. We want to stay small in Tai Chi class. Smaller is better. This movement right here prepares us for waving hands in clouds, which we'll learn in several weeks. So all of our warm-up movements help prepare us for our Tai Chi series of movements. Now you might be thinking, what do you mean, prepares us for Tai Chi? Are we not doing Tai Chi? Well, we are, because we're doing our warm-ups with Tai Chi principle. But Tai Chi in itself is a series of movements done in a certain order. And so our Tai Chi moves start with commencement. They do open and close, single whip, waving hands in clouds. So the names of our movements are done, our movements have names and they're done in that certain order. And so, yes, we're doing Tai Chi because we are following principle, but we're not doing our series yet. Next, this is where it gets a little complicated because we're going to start shifting weight to one leg to start warming up our hips. Now, if I were to tell you, all right, y'all, we're going to stand on one leg for an hour and we're going to be better balanced because of it, then you probably wouldn't want to come to class. But in Tai Chi class, we stand on one leg a lot because we're constantly shifting weight from one leg to the other. Weight transfer is one of our principles under body structure. And so when we start working with our hips to warm them up, we're going to shift weight. Now, if you're a little bit nervous about that, that's okay. Have something nearby that you can rely on if you lose your balance. If you have a stable chair, this table right here, there's no telling how much it weighs, but it's not going anywhere. This wall right here, I hope it's not going anywhere, but I know it's here if I need it. The chair that I have is a folding chair. Now, it's not ideal. It's a little bit short for me, but sometimes we don't have the ideal chair to work with. So this is the chair I have. I can have it right there in front of me and just have it there just in case in case I need it. What is not an ideal chair for Tai Chi is something like this that has wheels, or like a rocking chair. So because they move and that could increase your chance of falls, and that's obviously not a good thing. But when like I said, when we start shifting weight, you might want to have something nearby that you can rely on. Always know though, just because I say shift weight to your right leg, that doesn't mean that you have to. You may shift weight just a little bit, or you may just always listen to your body, because first and foremost is safety. And if you need to skip an exercise for safety, then that's what we need you to do. So we make modifications for safety. But here's how the exercise calls for. For our hips, we shift weight to one leg. We're going to place our heel out forward and our hands go back. And so it looks like this from the side. And then we're going to come and pause in the middle, and then we're going to put our toe back and our hands forward. I want you to notice that my body stayed upright. I didn't lean forward. I didn't lean back. I stayed upright. Also, I want you to notice that when I placed my foot back, I went back and out at an angle instead of going straight back. If I were to go straight back, you see me, I had to touch the wall, because if I go straight back, then that's not a stable stance. It's as if I were standing here with my feet right beside each other. And remember, our stable stance is wide. with about shoulder width or hip width apart. So when we take that toe back, we go at an angle, and you see my feet are shoulder width, hip width apart, versus here, if I went straight back, that wouldn't be stable. So keep that in mind when we go back. It's back like an angle. It's like a kickstand. So we have our hands forward when our foot's back. And then our heel is forward and our hands are back. That's a counterbalance for us. All right, let's shift weight to the other leg. And now heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. I felt myself wobble a little bit, and I paused and gave myself a minute to make sure I was okay before I continued. So just like I said, you listen to your body. Your body makes a little bit of a, wobble. Check in with yourself, see what you need to do to make sure that you don't fall. With doing these exercises, we're challenging our body. So we're putting ourselves maybe feeling a little off balance, but we're forcing our muscles to get stronger in doing that. And so sometimes we have to push ourselves a little bit past some discomfort, but we don't want to push ourselves so far that we fall. All right, so that was the first one for our hip. The other one for our hips, we shift weight from side and to side. So one foot gets all of our leg gets all of our weight, and then we shift and give the other leg all our weight. Now our hands stack like this, and they're going to go in the direction of the weight shift, and they're going to stop at our frame. So at the edge of our body, shift, and I'm going to stop right here. When I stop right here, I'm going to lift this leg and tap it out and bring it back. Then I'm going to switch my hands and shift, and my hands go the other way and tap out. What I'm not doing is taking my hands further, because if I start taking my hands further outside of my frame, then I'm going to start leaning to go with my hands. So I'm staying within my frame. Now when I say staying within my frame, what I want you to envision is if you went to the frame store or to Michael's or Hobby Lobby and you got the perfect size frame for your body. So when we move, we stay in that frame. It's as if that is our barrier to keep us from leaning and going outside of that space. And we have body awareness. I like watching myself in the video. I like watching myself in a mirror to see me stop at the edge of that frame. So we're shifting weight to one leg and tapping that foot out. Now, if you need to hold on to a chair to do this weight transfer, that's not a problem, but just skip these hand movements and just do the leg movements. And don't forget to breathe. So that is the two exercises for our hips. The next two is for our knees. So just to go back and review, we had the two for our spine where we had the ball and we separated and pushed, came back to the ball and pushed, and then the other one we went side to side with the hand on top telling us what direction that we are turning. Then we went to our hips, and this is where we start shifting weight, where we shift weight to one leg, place a heel forward, hands back, pause, and toe back like a kickstand. That's our first hip exercise. And you'll have good days and bad days with this. Some days I wobble a little bit more. And then our other hip one where we go side to side and tap that foot out, keeping that upright posture the whole time. So on to our knees. We have two more major joints, our knees and our ankles. So we have loose fist. It's when we make a fist in Tai Chi, it's as if we're holding an egg that we don't want to break. So we never clench our fist because in Tai Chi we are a no tension zone. And squeezing our fist would be tension. So we keep that loose fist thinking about holding an egg and we don't want to break it. So Tai Chi is the slowest fight you will never have. And this next move looks similar to a fight because it's like we're punching, even though we're not punching. And so what we're going to do with our lower body is shift weight to one leg. We lift a foot, tap that toe out, and punch the opposite hand. Bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch. Shift, lift, tap and punch. So see how slow we're going? That slow, you think slow is easy, but slow is more challenging. But challenging in a good way. It helps our muscles be stabilizers. So this is how we're going to get strong muscles. Again, I will remind you, if you need to hold on to a chair to do this leg movement, just skip the punches. Keep that upright posture. Don't grab any tension in your shoulders. All right, next we're going to do our other knee exercise by shifting weight and stepping out. So it's a small step. We're going to shift some weight to that front foot as we punch the opposite hand. Both of our feet stay flat on the ground. Then we bring the weight back and feet side by side. So we shift, step, shift and punch, bring it back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch, bring it back, side by side. I love this weight shifting because we shift front and we shift back and we shift side to side. So we get a lot of experience with our weight transfer principle in this movement. And I will say weight transfer is where magic happens. I say it a lot because I know that's how our muscles get so strong, is by slowly transferring weight, holding weight on one leg so that we lift another. I've been hearing that on Facebook, Tai Chi for walking is all over the place. And I need to look more into it, but I have a feeling it's weight transfer, empty step, and weight transfer in nature. And so, like I said, I'll look into it to see, because if y'all have seen it, y'all may have questions about it too. All right, that's for our knees. Finally, for our ankles. There's no hand movements for our ankle warm-up. We shift weight to one leg, and then we go heel, toe, heel, toe. So we're rocking that foot, helping relieve any tension or stiffness that's in the ankle joint. Bring it back, shift the weight, and now heel toe the other foot. Now remember, hold on to a chair and do this movement if holding weight on one leg is too much of a challenge for you right now. So we're wanting to build up our stamina and abilities and our ability to hold weight on one leg. But if we're not there yet, that's okay. And now we're going to go big toe, little toe. So side to side. So all of these warm-up moves have seated versions. At some point, we'll go over those. If there's interest, if y'all are not interested, it's okay. It won't hurt my feelings. Like I said last year, I hurt my foot and I was forced to teach seated Tai Chi. Like it or not, sometimes life comes at us and tells us what we're going to do, like it or not. So we give ourselves a little shake, and that completes our warm-ups. And like I said, we do that every time. The 2 for our neck, the 2 for our shoulders, 2 for our spine, 2 for our hips, 2 for our knees and ankles. To review our knees and ankles, that's the one where we made the loose fist. We shift, we lift, tap and punch. We do that both sides. Our other knee exercise is the one where we step out, keeping both feet flat on the floor as we shift. We also keep that upright posture. We don't lean into that weight shift. And then, our ankles. And that was where we rocked our foot, heel, toe, rocked our foot, heel, toe, and then we did big toe, little toe, or side to side. So, any questions about our warm-ups? You don't have to be a master of those on day 1. We're calling this day 1. Miss Linda will just write off last week as whatever that class was, because me and Linda struggled with the speaker, and I bet I recorded 55 things of nothing, even though we did a little bit of exercise. But we'll call this week 1. So week 1, you may not fully know these moves, and that's okay, because we do them every time. We don't talk about them as much in week 16 as we do today, because we have more experience with them. But I don't leave you and go, okay, well, you learned that, like now you know it, like we're never going to talk about it or do it again. That's not how this class works. We build on what we know, and we practice and go over it and go over it, and that's how we learn. Now, when you very first learn Tai Chi, you're going to be very rigid, a little more choppy than maybe what you see I'm doing. That just comes with time. You may feel very awkward in the first time you do Tai Chi, and Dr. Lamb says you're going to feel awkward for 16 weeks. I don't know exactly what he says. I just know he says you're going to feel awkward for a while, because these movements aren't like normal everyday movements that you've done. And so it may feel kind of weird to move in these ways. And that's okay. Just hang in there and keep working with it. We all have been there. So don't worry. I talk about slow, smooth, and continuous. But when you're learning, you're having to think what's next. Oh gosh, I'm up. Now what's next? Oh, I got to go down. Okay, I got to go back in. And so you're more kind of jerky and rigid. That's part of learning. Just like when you learn to read. You didn't read smoothly when you first learned to read, or anything that you do. And you never do it perfect and smooth the first time. So be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace as you learn. So that is our warm-ups. I don't want to jump into our commencement move because we don't have time to really give it justice. I will show you what we're going to do next week, and that is commencement and open and close. Those are the first 2 moves of our basic 6 movements. So it looks like this, and I'm doing this in mirror image. So commencement, open, close. assured, if you can't do any moves, you'll be able to do open and close. So that's a feel-good, easy filler move that we go, open and close. I got that one down pat. So it's just that open and close. So we're going to break that down next week and learn those moves. We're going to talk about how the footwork is simply a step forward. Something important to remember in Tai Chi is we empty step, so we don't immediately give weight to a foot. We place the foot, then give it weight. So that's something that we'll talk about. We'll talk about the connection between what's going on with our hands and where our weight shift is happening. And when we start to connect the hand movement and the weight shifting, it really starts coming together up here. We really start gathering benefits when we really get it put together. So we'll talk about that and we'll practice that. We'll talk about breath with the movement, because what we don't want to do is hold our breath. We want to breathe. A big goal is to diaphragmatic breathe, so to fully inhale with our lungs and then fully exhale the air from our lungs. And that's something that we learn in Tai Chi class and that we promote with our movement. So we'll talk about that next week. All right, does anybody have any questions before we cool down?
How many weeks? 16.
16.
Okay. All right.
It'll be 16 weeks, and to be a completer, you come to 11 of the 16.
Okay.
And I know you'll be there with us, Miss Nora. All right, so any other questions? You feel good about what we've done so far? Thumbs up.
Yeah.
I love going back to the beginning and talking about it again. I love starting all over. So let's give ourselves a little fist massage, because I'm telling you, when we weight transfer one leg to the other leg, our legs are working hard. And giving them this fist massage is our way of saying thank you. Thank you for working so hard for us, because we want to stay upright. We want to stay independent. I think I want to go to the bathroom by myself. I don't want anybody to have to come in that bathroom with me. And I know that when I have strong legs, I'm able to go to that bathroom. So we want to stay mobile and if anything else, let that motivate you, right? Next, we want to tense our muscle. And we don't want to stay living in tension. That can cause us pain. Oh, we let that go. We tense and we relax. Feels so much better to relieve our bodies of that tension. And anytime you're having pain, try not to tense, but instead relax and breathe through it. Because if you stay tense, your pain can get worse. That's part of that pain cycle. Now let's inhale and exhale as we go through that shoulder circle again. Inhale and exhale. One more. And to end our class, we make a fist with our right hand. Remember, it's not a squeeze fist, it's a loose fist. That represents our strength. Our left fingers all together represents our friendship. Our thumb in represents our humility. And humility is not a negative thing. You know, sometimes we say stuff like, oh, he needs to be humbled, you know, because maybe he got a little too full of himself. And we think of humility as something negative, but humility is our opportunity to learn, because we don't know everything. And so that's a positive. So we have our strength, our friendship, and our humility, our willingness to learn. We put those together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
Namaste.
And so namaste means that everything in me respects everything in you. And that doesn't matter if we believe things differently or if we're different just in general. We can still be respectful of each other, and so that's beautiful to me. And so that's how we end our class, with namaste. It's on our t-shirt across the bottom here, namaste. If you want to make a funny out of it, you can say, hey, you want to go to town, and you say namaste home. Or, hey, you going to get out of that bed? Namaste in bed. Namaste. All right, jokes aside, y'all, I'm so glad that we're here together. I'm so excited for us to spend Tuesday afternoons together with this class. To remind y'all how to get in touch with me, my direct phone number. If do you need to get a piece of paper, Miss Annie? Because I know Miss Linda and Nora have my number. My direct number is 912-292-9052. Well, I'm sitting here typing away and ain't one single thing typed. 912-292-9052. Well, I just don't know why I didn't know I was making a number. 292-9052. I guess I could say it 100 more times. If that came up on the screen, I opened up a chat and put it on there. That's my direct line. If you need to email me, my number or my email is Crosby, CROSBY, and then at HOGARC.org. And so HOGARC, that stands for Heart of Georgia Altamaha Regional Commission. So that's who I work for. I work for the Area Agency on Aging, and it's housed in the Regional Commission. Heart of Georgia Altamaha is an area in southeast Georgia for area agencies on agings, and we cover 17 counties. So we go to Wilcox County, we go Lawrence County, Johnson, Candler, Evans, Wayne, Appling, Jeff Davis, Telfair, and all everywhere in between. SOWEGA is who I partner with to provide this class. So you might not be in one of my counties, but that's the beauty of partnership. And so that maybe helps you understand of who I am and how in the world I ended up on your computer. It's because I work with SOWEGA Council on Aging to provide this. If you know anybody that might want to join us, they're welcome to join us. I can have up to 10 people in a class. We don't add more than that for safety reasons. So if you think, I think maybe somebody will enjoy this class, they can easily jump in next week or even the next week. Past that, we may, unless they're really, really fast learners, we may lose them. So, but, like I said, if you think of anybody, you just let me know, and we'll get them added. Okay? I will upload this class to YouTube, and I don't know if I'll do it next week, but sometime in the next near future, I'll show you what the YouTube page looks like and how to navigate it. But they're there for you as well as other tutorials. All right, any other questions? All right. Well, y'all let me know if you need me between now and then. Miss Nora, will I see you on Friday?
Not this Friday. No.
Okay. Well, you come and join me whenever you can, but you let me know what you need, okay, darling?
Okay, I'll text you.
Okay. All right. Love y'all.
Love you.
Have a great
Love you
week.
too. Hey, you too.
Bye-bye.